Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly Digest for week 2 of February 2026. Tata Sons chairman Chandrasekaran is increasing his direct involvement with TCS to navigate the company through a critical period. The renewed focus aims to solidify TCS's position as the Tata Group's primary AI partner and explore acquisitions to accelerate its AI pivot, ensuring the protection of its largest cash generator amidst evolving business models. Foreign companies registered a 5-year high in India in 2025, with 92 new entrants, primarily from the services sector. This surge reflects growing global confidence in the Indian market, supported by government initiatives promoting a business-friendly environment and ease of doing business. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Delhi and Gujarat attracted the majority of these ventures. Bengaluru-based e-commerce enablement company Velocity said it has earmarked ₹100 crore to scale its logistics arm, Velocity Shipping, as it looks to expand its presence in the shipping aggregation market and invest in AI-driven tools across the logistics chain. Velocity Shipping, formerly known as Shipfast, will receive the investment over the next 2 years, funded through internal accruals and revenue from the company's core businesses. Cybersecurity incidents are now seen as the single biggest threat to business performance for Indian companies, with over half of senior executives, around 51%, naming them as their top concern according to a survey released on Sunday. The FICCI EY Risk Survey 2026 also highlighted mounting pressure from market and geopolitical shifts. Based on feedback from senior leaders across industries, the report indicates that technology risks are becoming inseparable from day-to-day operational resilience. Reliance Industries FMCG arm, Reliance Consumer Products Limited, has acquired a majority stake in Australia's popular better-for-you beverage business, Goodness Group Global. The deal marks RCPL's entry into Australia's booming consumer goods market. Under the strategic partnership, RCPL will help promote Goodness Group's flagship healthy beverage brands like Nexpa and Pace, a hydration brand co-created with Australian cricket captain Pat Cummins across newer markets including India. Furniture retailer IKEA is looking to set up new stores in the range of 50,000 to 70,000 square feet in the country, which will sit comfortably between its smaller stores, which are around 15,000 to 20,000 square feet, and big box retail outlets, which are around 4 lakh square feet. The move is also timed with IKEA's broader plan of more than doubling its investments in India to over ₹20,000 crore or around $2.2 billion in the next 5 years, expanding physical as well as online retail and improving local sourcing. The National Company Law Tribunal has approved the merger of Sanghi Industries with Ambuja Cements. This significant development was announced by Ambuja Cements in an exchange filing. The tribunal pronounced its order on February 9, 2026, sanctioning the scheme of arrangement. April 1, 2024 is the appointed date for this merger. Moody's Ratings projects a stable outlook for India's banking sector, anticipating a low non-performing asset ratio of 2 to 2.5% over the next 12 to 18 months. Robust economic growth, projected at 6.4% for financial year 26-27, will underpin solid fundamentals and stable profitability, with loan growth expected to keep pace with deposits. JioStar India is gearing up for a bold move by merging its TV distribution arm, Indiacast Media Distribution, into the parent company effective April 1, 2025. The rapid merger aims to refine processes and cut down operational expenses. Indiacast, responsible for a range of TV channel distributions, will cease operations seamlessly, minimizing disruptions. India has granted US selective market access under a new trade agreement, allowing duty-free entry for products like animal feed, certain wines, and computer components. This calibrated approach aims to boost trade and economic growth while carefully protecting domestic industries and ensuring benefits for its citizens. India and Seychelles have inked a $175 million economic package, bolstering projects in housing, e-mobility, health, and maritime security. Multiple MOUs were signed, including one for training Seychelles civil servants in India. Prime Minister Modi highlighted the strong people-to-people ties and shared vision, emphasizing development partnerships built on Seychelles' priorities. The Central Board of Direct Taxes, or CBDT, has released the Draft Income Tax Rules 2026 for public consultation. Stakeholders and members of the public have been invited to submit their feedback and comments on the draft rules and forms. CBDT has sought to eliminate redundancies present in the Income Tax Rules 1961. The draft rules aim to simplify and consolidate provisions, resulting in a significant reduction in volume. Number of rules reduced from 511 to 333. Number of forms reduced from 399 to 190. This consolidation is intended to make the tax framework more streamlined and easier to navigate. While preserving the overall policy intent, the draft rules incorporate necessary changes aligned with amendments introduced under Income Tax Act 2025. The intent is to ensure consistency between the Act and the rules without altering substantive policy outcomes. The United States has updated its trade deal fact sheet with India, removing pulses from the list of agricultural products eligible for tariff reductions. India now intends to purchase over $500 billion in energy, technology, and other goods from the US as part of the revised agreement, the White House said. India climbed 5 places to the 91st position out of 182 countries and territories on the Corruption Perceptions Index, or CPI 2025, released on Tuesday. India's score has gone up by 1 point since previous year, while its rank has improved from the 96th position, according to the global NGO Transparency International's latest CPI. The report highlights global challenges in combating corruption. It also notes that India is among countries considered dangerous for journalists reporting on corruption. Goldman Sachs is significantly increasing its investment in India, shifting from a future growth story to a present opportunity. This strategic pivot has already boosted its rankings in Indian equity offerings and mergers, demonstrating a commitment to capturing market share in the world's fastest growing developing economy. Goldman has now injected about $500 million into its India banking franchise over the last 3 years, demonstrating its commitment to the world's fastest growing developing economy. Betting on the surge in smart meters in the country, Polaris Smart Metering has committed close to Rs 4,500 crore in capital by 2027 across manufacturing, project execution, and a new battery energy storage business, while also exploring an IPO as part of its next growth phase. The company is set to commission a new 250,000 square feet manufacturing facility, Polaris Nova, in Rajasthan by December 2026, doubling annual smart meter production capacity from 5 million units to 10 million units, positioning it as the largest single metering plant in India. The International Financial Services Centres Authority, or IFSCA, has directed that all units operating in the IFSC and intending to dematerialize securities or other permitted financial products must obtain International Securities Identification Numbers, or ISINs, from a depository recognized by IFSCA. This measure is aimed at strengthening the regulatory and supervisory framework within the IFSC ecosystem. The Reserve Bank of India or RBI has notified the draft amendment directions to the Non-Banking Financial Companies Branch Authorizations Directions 2025 and invited comments from regulated entities and stakeholders on the proposed changes. The draft directions propose to do away with the requirement of prior approval or prior notice to the RBI. Under the proposed framework, NBFCs would no longer be required to seek regulatory permission or intimate the RBI in advance for opening domestic branches. India is seeking to diversify its oil sources. State-owned refiners have been asked to consider buying more crude from the United States and Venezuela. This comes after a trade deal that reportedly includes a pledge to stop importing Russian oil. Refiners are prioritizing US grades from the spot market. Venezuelan crude will be sourced through private talks. Britannia Industries is leveraging e-commerce and quick commerce channels to boost sales of its indulgence and impulse products like cakes and wafers. The company anticipates significant growth in these segments, aiming for high teen percentages by fiscal 2027. Britannia plans increased investment in its quick commerce unit to capitalize on India's growing demand for convenience. The merger of Power Finance Corporation and REC Limited is set to boost funding for India's renewable energy projects. Large and complex projects will find financing more accessible. This consolidation will enable greater underwriting capacity and facilitate debt refinancing at competitive rates. Improved grid connectivity for renewables is also anticipated. Swiss bank UBS has opened a new global capability center in Hyderabad. The company plans to hire nearly 3,000 professionals over the next 2 years. This expansion highlights Hyderabad's growing importance as a global hub for financial technology and operations. The new facility signifies UBS's long-term commitment to India and its confidence in the city's talent pool and infrastructure. Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank will repurpose more than half of its staff towards sales as it shifts focus from maintaining its long-standing customer relationships to increasing revenues. This will be done through technology-led investments, which will lead to automation benefits in a lot of repeat jobs. The bank plans to hire over 200 new employees. This strategic move aims to enhance customer engagement and expand its business segments. iCertis Inc. is weighing a possible sale that could value the SoftBank-backed company at up to $5 billion. The AI-powered contract management software firm is working with Goldman Sachs, with buyout firms showing preliminary interest. However, deliberations are ongoing and it may still decide against a sale. SoftBank invested in iCertis in 2021, purchasing shares from 8 Roads Ventures in a deal that valued the company at about $5 billion at that time. Flipkart is reportedly exploring a move into India's online food delivery sector. A pilot launch in Bengaluru is planned for May to June. A wider rollout could happen by late 2026 or early 2027. This marks Flipkart's second attempt at entering the market. The company is building a team and considering its strategy. India's food delivery market is projected for significant growth. Liquidity, which was tight just 2 months ago, has swung into its largest surplus in 6 months. The RBI has stayed away till now from draining any short-term cash, prompting analysts to ask whether the authority is allowing easier financial conditions to enforce the transmission of earlier rate cuts to the broader economy. Ashok Leyland is giving a big push to its international growth strategy, announcing plans to set up a new assembly unit in Saudi Arabia and entering into a strategic partnership in Indonesia as the Hinduja Group flagship seeks to capitalize on rising demand for conventional, electric and defense vehicles across emerging markets. The commercial vehicle maker has signaled a memorandum of understanding with Indonesia's state-owned PT Pindad to co-develop electric buses and defense vehicles for the domestic market. The move marks Ashok Leyland's entry into Indonesia, one of ASEAN's largest automotive markets currently dominated by Japanese players. Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi is under pressure to fulfill a massive investment pledge to the United States. Ahead of a White House visit, Tokyo is expected to announce initial projects worth billions. The deal aims to boost American industries and create jobs. However, Japanese firms express caution due to unclear procedures and potential challenges. Mahindra & Mahindra is investing Rs 196 crore to expand its Chennai research facility. This expansion will boost capabilities in advanced vehicle design and future technology. The upgraded facility will support next-generation vehicle platforms. This move reinforces India's role in global automotive innovation and product engineering. The new infrastructure is expected to be operational this year. Hindustan Unilever Limited or HUL is acquiring full ownership of Oziva for Rs 824 crore. This move aims to boost growth in the health and wellness sector. HUL also divested its minority stake in Wellbeing Nutrition to USV Private Limited for Rs 307 crore. These strategic decisions underscore HUL's commitment to scaling purpose-led brands. Shares of IT giants Infosys and Wipro tumbled as much as 6% on Friday, extending recent losses. This decline follows a sharp overnight drop in their ADRs after Anthropic unveiled a new AI product capable of automating professional tasks, reigniting fears of margin pressure and weakened competitive positioning. Hindalco Industries will invest an additional $200 to $250 million in its subsidiary Novelis. This follows two fires at Novelis Oswego unit. The company has already invested $750 million. This new funding will support Novelis' working capital and operational needs over the next 6 to 8 months. Hindalco's India operations performed strongly, offsetting losses at Novelis. HDFC Bank and two global financial firms are exploring buying a stake in Credit Access Grameen. Axis Bank is also in talks. Credit Access India BV, the owner, is looking to sell its majority stake. This move aims to provide an exit for patient investors. The microfinance market is showing signs of recovery. Credit Access Grameen is financially strong and poised for growth. Public sector banks have significantly increased their share in credit card spending, reaching 22.2% in December 2025. This growth is attributed to higher usage by existing cardholders, robust festive demand, and expanded reach into salaried segments, particularly driven by large PSBs like SBI cards. The integration of RuPay credit cards with UPI has also fueled this expansion. SoftBank Group Corp on Thursday reported a net profit of 248.6 billion yen or $1.62 billion for the July to September quarter, buoyed by gains from its investments in OpenAI. SoftBank Vision Fund 2's India portfolio includes food tech major Swiggy, e-commerce company Meesho, EV maker Ola Electric, and the newly listed Lenskart. In recent months, SoftBank has shifted its focus to AI companies heavily invested in ChatGPT maker OpenAI. The conglomerate also has a joint venture with OpenAI, Oracle, and others to build massive AI infrastructure in the US. The Reserve Bank of India or RBI has notified the draft amendment directions to the non-banking financial companies registration, exemptions and framework for scale-based regulation directions 2026 and invited public comments on the proposed changes. Under the draft amendment, certain categories of NBFCs are proposed to be exempt from the provisions of Section 45IA of the RBI Act 1934, which governs the requirement of registration with RBI, and minimum net owned fund criteria. The exemption is proposed for NBFCs that meet all of the following conditions. Number 1, do not avail public funds. Number 2, have no customer interface. And number 3, have an asset size of less than rupees 1000 crore. If implemented, the amendment will provide regulatory relief to smaller NBFCs that operate without public funds and customer interface, while continuing to subject larger and systematically relevant NBFCs to the full registration and regulatory framework under Section 45IA. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.